The most successful hot hatch of all time? The icon, of course, the Golf GTI. They've sold over 2.5 million of them, and it is turning 50 in 2026. So to celebrate, VW is doing something absolutely massive. It's making the GTI electric for the first time, but it's not the Golf. Meet the ID Polo GTI. So here she is, resplendent in tornado red. What other colour could there be for the launch car? And you know, when I look, I think she looks just like the concept car that I saw about 2.5 years ago, that GTI concept. Can you see the resemblance? Particularly here around the smile, right? Although I think she's a bit more smiley. So what have we got? Well, of course, it's got the design of the new Polo right at its heart, but think of this as an extra strong mint. Not the average Polo mint, the one that gives you a kick and has got a bit of heat to it. So you get, of course, the red GTI line right across the front here. Signature since the 1976 Golf GTI. It's still here. It gives it that instant recognition. That runs right across the front, and I love seeing the GTI badged just positioned here. You've got the light bar, which is very familiar, of course, from the ID Polo. This is going across all of VW's EVs. I still kind of miss the lovely twin round headlights at the front, but you know, hey, they went a long time ago. What I really love though is when you come down here and you see the honeycomb just down at the front here. And it's such a throwback to GTIs of old, isn't it? That honeycomb is so classic from those cars. And it also makes me realise that I'm really happy that VW didn't just slap a massive fake grille on the front of this, which must have been quite tempting, because a lot of other car designers find that tempting. Yeah, I think it's a really lovely modern interpretation. Right, round to the side. Oh, I do like those little red vertical elements there. Nice motorsport nod there. Right, round at the side. You can see straight away, it's very clean and simple, very classic VW. Look, it's got a really nice stance, I think. You know, it's got a long wheelbase, shorter overhangs. It gives it that kind of planty, sporty stance that you get with a small car like this. I like the C-pillar a lot because if you've watched my video on the standard ID Polo, you will know that this is pure Golf. It's a lovely design feature from the Golfs of old that really ties the heritage together in this modern interpretation. 19-inch wheels, massive for this class, but they fill the arches nicely, don't they? And the designs on the wheels throw back to GTI history as well. Round at the back, spoiler alert, there you go. Nicely highlighted in gloss black, and it's split as well, which makes it even more sporty. Down at the bottom here, lovely diffuser, just looks a bit chunkier, gives it more stance and presence. I love these lights. They're across all the new VW electric cars, and they call them internally the whiskey glasses. See where they're going with that. Love the illuminated badge in red. And of course, I love these three letters. GTI, three of my favourite letters in the alphabet, not least because G for Ginny and all that. And have you noticed? It doesn't have Polo anywhere on it, just GTI. So come on, what do you think? I think they're striking a really good balance between it looking, you know, striking but not too showy-offy. As always, let us know what you think in the comments below. So we've seen the interior of the new Polo in my first look video. Head over there straight after watching this if you really want a full deep dive on the interior. I'm not going to go into much in this video. Spoiler alert on that though, the big highlight is the return of switches and buttons on the steering wheel and proper controls for the windows, which we were so happy about. And of course, it's the same on the GTI. It also gets something that we love from the ID Polo, which is retro mode. It gives you a tape deck and, you know, analog dials in there. Only the ref counter tells you how much battery power is left, which I love. But this also gets something special. A little GTI button that cranks everything up, throttle response, steering wheel, the whole vibe of the car. Who wouldn't want this button in front of them on the steering wheel as they're driving around? And of course, you've got your obligatory nice red stitching and lovely tartan seats, a throwback to the GTIs of old. It's nice in here. Should we talk numbers? Because this is where I think it gets quite interesting. So the ID Polo GTI comes with 226 horsepower, a 52 kilowatt hour battery, 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. On paper, that doesn't sound like it's blowing everything out the water, does it? And it's up against some pretty interesting cars. We've got the forthcoming Cupra Raval VZ, same power output, shares the same battery, a bit quicker off the line. And then there's the Alpine A290. Similar setup, just a bit faster. And then you've got the Mini JCW electric. That one has gone full chaos mode. 258 horsepower and a sub 6-second sprint. It does feel quite a lot. So you might be thinking, hang on, this is a bit conservative. And the answer is yes, yes it is, because that is the point. You see, VW isn't chasing headline numbers here. It's chasing a feeling, a vibe, something that is fast and fun, but still livable. So I've driven the Raval VZ and it did feel sharp and aggressive. It was fun to drive, but this is tuned to be really different. And once you start to think about that, then the numbers start to make sense. In terms of what's meant to give it that GTI feel, of course, there's loads of electronics at play here. But it's still front-wheel drive, which is a big part of what makes a GTI a GTI. And you know, it's not just about having instant electric torque, it's how they've tuned it. VW said it's been calibrated to feel progressive, rather than just dumping everything through the front wheels. There's an electronically controlled diff to help it put power down cleanly out of the corners, and the steering has been set up for this car too, to make it feel more natural and less digital. It sounds good. You've got adaptive suspension as standard, so it can switch between being properly sharp and still be usable day to day. And if it's anything like the setup that we've tried in the Raval VZ, it should do it pretty well. And then, of course, there's the GTI mode that I mentioned. So on paper, all the ingredients are there. It's just about whether it actually delivers when we finally get behind the wheel. When it comes to range, VW is quoting up to 263 miles, bit ahead of its rivals. See, it's the usability coming back in, that's back. Charging speeds are okay, 10 to 80% in about 24 minutes, with a peak DC charging rate of 105 kilowatts. It's not class leading on paper. Some rivals will charge faster at the top end, but it all depends on the charging curve. That charging curve is nice and consistent. It could feel just as quick in the real world, and we'll take a look at that when we can drive it in the UK. So overall, you know, it's not headlining, it's just very solid. You know, this badge, the GTI badge, is kind of where it all started for me. It was the car that back in my childhood made me fall in love with cars. You know, it was a car that my dad always loved. And I've been doing this job long enough to know that that feeling of really falling in love with a car doesn't happen that often. So seeing it reimagined like this for a completely new era, it's a big moment, not gonna lie. Look, it's important because this isn't just another electric hot hatch. There's quite a lot of those. This is VW trying to take something which is iconic at its core and make it work in a world that is completely changed. And honestly, from what I've seen so far, I think they might have pulled it off. I literally cannot wait to drive it. They are so mean though, they're making us wait for ages, and that is my only complaint so far. Patience has never been my thing, but I have a feeling this one with this GTI badge might just be worth the wait.